We got a show match on Bad Map between Grimeboss and Sziky. No rush, 5 minutes. Let's get into game 1 of this best of 5 cash prize show match. There is a no rush 5-minute informal rule. See a bunch of hatcheries being made. Grimeboss making gateways. Sziky putting down hatcheries. I don't know what kind of units you would want to make on this map, knowing that you have a limited amount of space and 5 minutes to get your shit together. That's the meta that we're looking to develop.
I feel like you could totally do a rush for air tech.
It's complicated when your opponent can basically build inside your space. And Sziky has researched Borrow. Don't know why.
I mean, he has free money.
Might as well.
He has a forge up now, so that's why I'm like, is he not building cannons because cannons will automatically attack, or what's
you
going
clearly gotta have some sort of strategy. There's no going back. If you make a structure, you're stuck with it. Grimeboss has clearly run out of space already. He is not attacking Sziky because there's a no rush 5-minute rule. That makes sense. Sunkens are not being made yet. Well, this Zealot is doing some damage over here. Grimeboss has caught onto that and is sending it back. We got speed being researched, so basically his all-in strategy here is speed Zealots. Now he could ally Sziky and not unintentionally attack. But I feel like he's doing this purposely to cause some AM.
But that wall of Sunkens, like, it's good, but I don't see how it'll work long term. Because
the long term, you got Spire and Mutus. Grimeboss can only make so many Zealots before he gets supply blocked. Although, mind you, he can make up to 161. So I guess his strategy is just to make Zealots, upgrade, and try to kill off all the buildings of his opponent. Sziky has some Sunkens for defense. Making some Hydralisks, and I think he's gonna pump out Mutalisks when he can. I think the Sunkens will buy him some time, but it might be a base trade where you got a bunch of Zealots attacking you and trying to eliminate you, and you have to defend. Either Sziky is able to hold off the offensive attack and then finish off his opponent with Mutalisks, or he's just constantly overwhelmed by Grimeboss's Zealots and he has to keep defending, but he gradually loses his units. We have 140 supply almost for Grimeboss right now. That's 30 more seconds. Oh, look at this timing. Sunken's being made just 20 seconds before. Oh, man. That is a superior build.
See, I don't know. I feel like having a 5 minute no rush kind of forces them to run out of space, and you can use the creep spread to wall in your opponent.
I think it can go in so many different directions, right? There's kind of like so many possibilities, and we're getting to know some of those possibilities. That makes sense. The reason that we have a no rush rule is because Protoss could simply just make cannons. And Terran would be helpless because you got to make a supply depot, barracks. Protoss can just keep making pylons and cannons. Here we got a TVZ. Grimeboss has picked Terran.
No, Terran could make racks before supply depot.
Well, I mean, eventually you have to make a supply depot to have supply. And you can make an infinite number of cannons with the probe, right? You just make it, move, you make it, you move, and you don't have to keep making more probes. Whereas Terran, your one SCV is stuck making that building until the very end. One of the advantages of being Terran, I think, is you can lift up your buildings. Your barracks, your factories, and that would give you more space. So it's actually kind of an interesting map. Whether a 5-minute rule is necessary or what kind of new dynamics it introduces, well, that's up for debate. But I think these kind of games are beyond just silly and fun. They actually force you to kind of like be creative. And I think there's some players who are superior at that and some that aren't. So you could be a really good player. You can have two really good players, but one is going to be better at innovating a strategy than the other. Last game we saw Sziky did that quite well, although some would say he's a superior player to Grimeboss. We got factories being made by Grimeboss. He's not going to cancel that barracks.
The creep is too strong.
Like having a map this small, creep is just OP.
Yeah, it is.
Now, in our second version, we have a pylon barrier in the middle, which limits the spread of creep. But maybe it's still possible to beat Zerg.
I do like this strat here of canceling buildings, because then it blocks creep and you aren't spending the entire time building.
Yeah.
Not canceling, pausing.
But yeah, I guess so.
I think the barracks, he just doesn't want to cancel it because it's going to be taken over by creep.
Now, do you need a machine shop to build a Goliath?
No.
So what?
Wait, do you? Am I wrong? I totally forgot.
No, you don't.
You don't. Okay, sorry. You need an armory.
See, that's why I'm a little confused, because
He's just making vultures.
yeah, like why not pump out Goliath instead of vultures?
He has no room for supply depots.
But he's not supply blocked yet. Like,
He will be. He just feels like he's not going to have enough units to do anything. Because Sziky is going to, like, make a bunch of, oh, he's got a Queen's Nest.
You can win this right now with creep.
They got about a minute and 30 seconds to go.
But Grimeboss is shooting stuff.
I think he feels like he has to. He could probably ally Sziky so he's not attacking. But he probably feels like he has a disadvantage playing against creep.
He is.
I think we'll allow
that's
this.
about-
And they're
Well, then you have to
vultures, they
be
can't
cool.
really do much.
Also, now that he has Machine Shop, it's gonna be really easy. Actually.
Like if depots could be lifted off. Yeah. He's kind of screwed. Does he have an armory? He doesn't have an armory. Is he making one? It's just, yeah, there it is. So he's got 40 seconds to make Goliaths, basically.
Less than a time. I think he's gonna keep making. And you take him that.
So he has 3 Goliaths coming out soon, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
Well, he's got some of these that are lifted, which is unfortunate. Little constructive feedback about our bad map. But the badness is intrinsic to the map, so...
No, it's not that. It's the imbalance. The creep in the 5 minute rate.
Okay.
Apparently, it doesn't matter since Zicky still won.
Sziky clutching game 2. Let's go to game 3 and see if
Wait, how are these
Grimeboss take a game. What'd you say, Land?
How are these replays not broken?
Yeah, we don't have that kind of problem here, man. It just happened with free-for-alls, and I think it's because of the lag, someone told me. Alright, so... Sziky is playing Protoss and Grimeboss is playing Terran. I think they probably feel Zerg is Imba, maybe? That's why they switched races. Grimeboss might just discover... Are we gonna see a Forge? Because...
This is some shenanigans with...
Yeah, we got a Forge here. So he's gonna discover that creep isn't the only imbalanced aspect of bad map. Because you could just make so many cannons around the map, right? I'm not sure what the thinking is behind the supply depots. He probably thinks he needs to get his supply up and take up like map space before it's taken, so that he could also make units. I guess that's what the rationale is. That's the thing too, you're just building stuff on the map to take up space, depriving your opponent. But it could work against you, like if you don't have enough space to make whatever you need to, you're kind of screwed. We do have bunkers being made.
Yeah, bunkers are strong as fuck.
This would be landowners' bad map method.
I do like the
Attacking before 5 minutes.
that Protoss is going here, because I don't think Protoss really knows what to do. But
Shit ton of...
interesting possibilities. What if we banned certain buildings? Because it's a use map settings, we could just delete cannons. Delete cannons, delete sunkens, delete bunkers.
I don't know if bunkers would need deletion.
Well, if you delete cannons, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think I'll mod this with and delete cannons, delete sunkens, and then say...
Like, cannons seem to be pretty OP. Sziky could have made a ton of them. I think he intentionally maybe decided not to. But listen, Grimeboss is holding soft, kind of. He's gonna be maxed out soon. He could probably build more supply depots.
I want to see this with rushing, but balanced.
I think he's doing it. Like, Sziky is making a ton of Zealots, but he's got no more room to do anything else. This was his all-in strategy. That's another aspect of this game. There's really no plan B. He's making cannons now.
Yeah.
That's his plan B. Grimeboss seems to have done it. And they're not even at the 5-minute mark, so they are ignoring our rules. And we're okay with it, I guess.
Grimeboss is about to get supply blocked here.
I guess it makes sense why they made all the depots and pylons. Oh, that's so funny. Grimeboss's reply to that is yes. Alright. So 2-1 for Sziky. Can't Grimeboss come back? And we're back on Bad Map. Made by Is This Discord. Sziky has chosen Zerg. The race we think is OP because of creep spread.
No, only for a 5-minute wait. It's okay.
Oh, we got some drone harass here.
No, he's losing all his probes.
I mean, if you're harassing with your drones, you're also not making anything with them, right? So it could go either way. If you're really not getting your money's worth, and remember, probes, they can keep making buildings and move on.
Yeah.
I see. Is that 10 gateways? 11 gateways coming up? 12? 13 gateways.
Seems
14.
like that's the strategy he did. What was the game one? These hatcheries in the middle of the map are a real problem for him. Because it just...
Here comes a forge is coming up now.
You know, like, creep spread isn't really a problem because you have time to make stuff on the map, though, right?
No, our family said that for the 5-minute wait period.
Yeah, with 5-minute wait, it's creep spread. You can purposely push creep.
Yeah, but it takes time for that to happen. What I'm saying is, in that time, you could be making stuff with your probes and SCVs. Like, these hatcheries aren't made yet. You have all this time to be making stuff in these spaces. You know what I mean? It's kind of fair. But we got an attack here from Grimeboss. Just making a shit ton of Zealots. Up. Is macroing well. I'd like to see this forge be upgrading. I feel like you could make another forge. Probably worth it. This is looking pretty good for Grimeboss. Got a lair in the works. I think Grimeboss is gonna do it, guys.
I believe so.
See, everybody's saying one race is OP, and then something happens and you're like, wait a minute, that wasn't OP. What I'm seeing now is OP. Well, I think it's all the meta that changes. And yes, there's a meta on this map. And Grimebosses is just gateway Zealots.
Yeah, but Zerg is about to cool off their flying units soon. So
I don't know if he's gonna live that far. I'm actually surprised Sziky is still alive right now.
the question is, can Grimeboss do enough damage to stop a flying attack?
This was a really nice SimCity by Sziky. It just feels like it takes so many zealots.
Yeah, it almost.
Like, what the hell's going on? I thought he was
I don't know if it
clearly
was
dead.
intentional or not, but it's really good.
Now I want to see Grimeboss flip over to Dragoons, and he's starting.
We got a game here, gentlemen. This is some nice action on that map. You're seeing Dragoon range being upgraded. Spire almost done, but he's got to keep making Zerglings. I don't know if he can afford to make Mutalisk. Unless Grimeboss backs off, which would not be in his interest, because he would lose pylons and gateways like he is now. It's also probably in his interest to make... Oh, see, the creep is disappearing a little bit.
So this is where I want to see Grimeboss capitalize on that
Creep is disappearing. You get a little bit more space. That probe is moving.
You have 5 units about to pop, so...
Cannon. The Dragoons are going to be trapped. Yeah, all the Dragoons, I think, are going to be trapped. But he needs them to defend against the Mutalisk. That's his plan B, I guess.
So importantly, Sziky lost like all his hatcheries except the main one.
Yeah, that was a crazy hold by Zerg. That whole time it looked like he had 3 or 4 Sunkens.
Imagine if
And
he
Grimeboss.
gets dying here. Oh my god. I think he should do it.
This is an insane comeback.
Now, I see a Queen's Nest coming up soon, so I'm not sure the strat there, except to... What? Convert units into little baby.
It's a pretty good game. For a no 5-minute rule.
Yeah, much better without the 5 minutes.
I think it just depends what they do, no?
I think what I'll do is I'll make another version of this with certain buildings banned.
The censored version.
So that it's impossible to do a cannon rush.
What if you really need cannons? Like Grimeboss right now, these cannons are really saving his ass.
I think Zinky's gonna take it though.
So I'm not sure the strat here on...
He's got another Spire.
Why is Grimeboss not making his forge? Oh, now he started researching. I've ignored his forge for a bit.
Sziky has the air, right? Grimeboss, he's got the ground. He's running out of space.
Like, I wanted to see more of that high APMs be put into their attacking build. Here comes Grimeboss.
+1 attack. You know what though? A Dark Archon would be really powerful, right? Against Mass Mutas. Then you probably need Storm and all that jazz. I don't know, I think it can go in so many different directions on this map. Just based on where you build your things really early on in the game might determine what happens. So this second Spire is going to be killed off. Grimeboss has lost some gateways. 3 or 4. But you know what? His goon range prevents any creep colonies being made that can be turned into Sunkens. They help him defend against Mutalisks. We got a greater Spire being made. I wonder if Guardians and Sunkins is a strategy.
I'm still thinking Grimeboss should have pushed in some more.
He could take out this lair, probably. And he will.
Mm-hmm.
He's taking out his own Nexus.
I wonder if that's smart. If you take it out, can you still tech up higher than the gateways?
Yeah.
Interesting. Got a bunch of Guardians.
The Stargate.
I wonder what Grimeboss is thinking now, because Zerg is chilling up for a bit.
He needs room. He needs a counter to this. Oh, these are a lot of Guardians. They got +1 attack.
Yeah.
Oh, man. GG from Grimeboss. Only to Sziky on bad map. That was a cool game. I like it when it lasts longer than 5 minutes. It takes me like 20 minutes to upload these things onto YouTube.